friends, MD Vegan. Today I make a chai. That is an Indian tea. Very nice. It's a black tea originally here. That is just a normal English breakfast tea. Very inexpensive. I got it in bulk from a local farmer's market. It's a drugstore. They have large quantities and it's good quality. They usually have Assam tea. That's a little bit more stronger flavor for the breakfast. And sometimes they put into the breakfast tea, the English breakfast tea, so-called, some Darjeeling and Ceylon tea, different kinds of mixtures one have. I mean, it's a strong black tea, and that's what I use, yeah, just for you to know. And I will use it not in the regular way as we know it usually. Pour the water on the tea, let it pull for some time, seep for some time, and then filter and enjoy. What I will do is add these Indian spices that there are. I mean, it seems that every family in India has their own chai recipe, adding different spices, and this one is on a very dear person. He passed away recently, but he lives on forever. He's called Dr. Patel. That's an Indian guy who met Gandhi and in London. He fought with Gandhi in India in the Liberation War. He had an injury and suffered for life for that. So he was really in the big battle with his dear Gandhi. And Gandhi met Charlie Chaplin in London, and he was there too, and wrote a book about it. I translated the book a little bit with him when I met him in America, in Kali Ray's ashrama in California. I was lucky. I was the chef there for some time. She had allowed me to cook for everybody, and when he was there, I was driving around with him and showed him everything. He was always welcome there. He was part of the ashrama life. Old guy, and so funny. And he was a comedian from India originally. I got some fame there and on the name from Rangalo. That was his name. And then he came to America and lived in an ashrama in New York. And Kali Ray and him, they met. And he always had a place in her ashrama also. And there I met him, and he's a really fantastic person. What he did always, he called it improvisation, was his great skill. He could tell some people what to do, have their own ideas about something, put it together in a piece, and we played that together in the ashrama. He said, "Dude, you think something, you sing something, and tonight we make a little theater piece." And everybody improvised, and it was just magic how he did that. I mean, really interesting. There's a movie about him, about his life, on triyoga.com. There's it's a website by Kali Ray, the founder of Tree Yoga. And as he was such a dear friend to her, she had that video and made, and we can watch it. And yeah, I just tell you this story because this is the story of this recipe, because it was his recipe, his family, so to say. And recently we made it. Didn't know. It was a festival, and it has some spices. And they say when they make this recipe, they say you get all the benefits of the black tea and all the side effects vanish. I don't know if there is science about it, but if I make a black tea for myself, I enjoy it. I love black tea. That's why I read it every day. And but there can be some side effects of the black tea, and they really seem to vanish when you drink it with these spices. My regular version was always very simple one, also from India, was just with cardamom and ginger. That was it usually. But this one is a little bit more complicated, and I have on a recipe with chai on my channel. If you want to watch it, I show you how to make it. This one is from Dr. Patel. But I change a little bit how to make it. In the recipe they say you have to cook the spices for a couple of minutes, and That's where I humbly disagree. I say the spices don't need to cook. They can just seep together with the tea in the hot water, and then I filter them without cooking them. Because I think when I tried it for some months, I made it every day and tried the effects of seeping longer, less, more, less of these ingredients. So I have my own now measurements here a little bit, and I found if I let them seep only without cooking the water, boiling the spices, the power of the spices remains in the water, whereas when I cook it, the power goes out more and it tastes more blunt. But that might be a personal feeling. You can try also the original, just cooking it for 6 or 7 or 8 minutes together with the tea, and then you do the rest in the same way. So I show you what I do. Here I have a pot for the tea to make it, and the spices. And here are the main spices. Yeah, all spices here. This is, I have here 4 spices. Yeah, that is, here is black pepper, 6 black peppercorns. Yeah, the corns, and it has to be 6 for the amount of tea, half a liter water. That's if you take more, it's too hot to me, too sharp, too coarse, the flavor. Take less, it's too weak. So I tried it the other way, but 6 is the number. So that is something I agree on. And then is here a half teaspoon of cloves. Here, this is a clove. That's a blossom, a dried blossom, and the cloves has an antibacterial effect. It's a very strong effect. You can put it on the teeth. It takes the pain away. It's really a strong antibacterial medication. It has a warm, very warm and sweet flavor. The peppercorns, you know yourself, it enhances other ingredients, other spices, other flavors. And this is the third one here is cardamom. That is a pod, and in the pod there are some seeds. So usually I take the seeds out. What you can also do is ground the whole pod with or without the outside, you know, because the seeds are inside. That's what usually seasons it. But when you have organic cardamom pods, I think you can take the whole ones. I tried different ways and it's okay with the one, but I show you also without. So this is the cardamom. It's 1 pod. And here, I can't take more. It would be too strong. It's a little bit like pepper. Cardamom has a calming effect on the stomach. That effect works very nice with coffees and teas in general. They put it in there to calm the stomach because it is aroused a little bit by the caffeine and the tea in the coffee. This is a very good one for that. And it tastes like a little bit like pepper, a little bit, but also for sweets, very good. And here the last ingredient the last spice is cinnamon. It's a whole lot. It's a tablespoon almost, yeah. It's the biggest amount. So in the original recipe though, they take the whole peppercorns, they don't grind it. They take cinnamon sticks and cook it in the water. So that's maybe why they cook it, because they have the whole seeds and cinnamon sticks. Maybe that's why they do that. I thought, well, why not ground it? So I decided to ground it, and I show you how to do it. I have a mortar here. This is a very important tool in my kitchen. Yeah, that is very nice for these spices. And the first here is the cardamom. I put the whole pot in. Yeah, you crash it open, you can see what it looks like. You see, that is now it's open, and you see inside is the cardamom. There's these seeds. I don't know if you can see it. That's 1 pod, and I use the whole pod as it's organic in my case. But if you have not organic, then you just peel it and take the seeds out, and you take only the seeds. So the pepper goes in, the cloves go in, and the cinnamon too. I'll need to ground, don't need to ground the cinnamon. Of course it is already ground, but I will just do it together with the other ingredients. You can also do it later, put it also a little later into the teapot, no problem. So it's quickly done. I guess with the cinnamon, it might even be easier to ground the rest. Cinnamon is a bark, and it's very high in antioxidants, super high, a very healthy spice, has a sweet flavor too, and it's just a nice flavor and very healthy with the antioxidants. The opposite of inflammatory is antioxidant. That's one of the things the health professionals always look first when they say the food is healthy or not. So how many antioxidants have in cinnamon is huge. But in general, spices and herbs are really super healthy. Second healthiest food category in our food after the leafy greens, dark leafy greens. So it's always good to incorporate spices into the food. As I do here now in my tea. That's what it looks like here. You see mostly now the cinnamon. I put it into the pot, the bottom. Get everything out. So I don't need that anymore. So the next spice, that's a bulk, is ground ginger root. That's a lot, you see. And here I show you what it was before I ground it. Yeah, this is about what it was. You see, it's about 10 inches or so, 25 centimeters around. This is about how much it is. Yeah, I use a lot of ginger root. It's really nice, and how much actually you use is up to you. I found a really nice amount, it's a huge amount, in this recipe is a really nice flavor. Because I also will put sugar into it and plant milk. That comes later, show you later. And together with that, it's good to have a nice, powerful ginger flavor together with the tea. So that's the ginger, and here is the black tea. I have 2 large tablespoons, super large tablespoons of black tea that goes in there too. So that's what goes in this pot. It is 5 spices, you counted: the ginger, the black pepper, the cardamom, the cinnamon, and the cloves. So it's 5, and then the tea. And now I will put the hot water on top. But to do that, I will have to boil the water at once. I want it to have it really hot and boiling. For that, I come back in a moment when it's boiling, and then I show you how to do that. Just boiling, just stopped, and now I will pour it over the tea and the spices here in that container. And now is the difference here is they would say cook it for some time. That's where I don't agree, but that's something you have to decide for yourself. Maybe you want to try it. I put a half a liter of hot water, now boiling water, over the tea. I will let it sit for a moment, put a lid on top, and come back in 4 minutes when I will filter the tea, because I don't want to drink the spices in the tea, of course. For that, I come back again in another time, in a short second. So it's now seeping for 3 to 4 minutes. You can seep a little bit longer, less, as you wish. Yeah, that's always something you have to try. I found that 3 to 4 minutes is the right time for my needs. And usually the tea begins to sink down in the water. You see already the tea leaves are no longer swinging on top. When they are falling down in the water, that is the moment when you can begin to take the tea out. So here I have a sieve, a colander, and another pot to pour it out and to filter it. So now the the flavors and the nutrients of the tea and the spices, they should now all be in the tea. So I will make sure the tea was pressed out of the water, the liquid is pressed out of the tea and the spices here, the mass. And it's nice because there are strong flavors in there, so we'll have them all. So that goes back. And now I have the tea here. You look, it's a brown mass, and it's a little bit cooled down now, because that's what it looks like, a little bit reddish. So what I do now, I will put this hemp milk in there. And this is my milk, my plant milk. Now it's very expensive, got a very good deal on it, so I will get the hemp milk. And it can take any milk you like, of course. And I have some coconut sugar here. That's what the recipe by Dr. Patel, what they recommend. I have found that for this amount, 2 large tablespoons of coconut sugar would be good. Goes into the tea. And some of the milk. I want to try how much. This is a liter. I don't take that much, maybe half. I will see. I will try that. It's the third now, a little bit more. Let me taste it. Now that's the personal part now, where you find out how much milk you want and how much sugar, and so let's see. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, that's the right amount. I don't need more milk. It's perfect. You see, it's a third or so liter. So this is the ready tea. I can show you what it looks like, but I will heat it up again. But I don't need to show you how to heat up a tea. And just make it a little bit warmer. You don't need to do that. I would do it. That's what it looks like here. It tastes delicious. It looks very nice. It's a wonderful drink. It's really vitalizing, warming on a cold winter day especially. And in summertime it's balancing. And you drink that, I drink that and I feel so great afterwards. I don't have any side effects afterwards. Sometimes after drinking black tea or so, the next day or hours later, I feel a feeling of my tongue, something like metal or so a little bit. There's nothing after this one. All these effects are away. There's nothing. It's wonderful, just nice. As he says, I mean, I don't know what the science says about that. I'm a big fan of this tea recipe. The other one I have also, it's called chai, I think, Indian chai or so. It's also on my channel if you want to check out. Otherwise, enjoy this one, and yeah, let me know how you feel about it. We are happy to hear about what you say. And if you like my video, like, subscribe, MD Vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day, and find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.